Well, thank you for staying with us. Off we go into the conversation now. The 2016 budget is yet to be assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. The presidency has said the president will only sign the document when it is satisfied with the details. President Buhari also said he will thoroughly look through the document. Interesting thing is that the controversy over the budget is so hot, almost reaching a boiling point. The Senate insists the controversial project is not present in what President presented earlier. More revelations, we understand, have emerged. But really, for most Nigerians, what does these issues matter anyways when the issue of putting food on their table is involved? Time, I guess, is of the essence. Take a look at this timeline. For example, President Buhari presented the 2016 budget proposal to the joint session of the National Assembly on the 2nd of December 2016. But since President Buhari was sworn in May 2015, it is 325 days and, 325 days since President Muhammadu Buhari was sworn in. And since President Buhari presented budget proposal to the joint session of the National Assembly, it is 118 days, 16 weeks, and 6 days. And since the National Assembly passed the budget, it is 26 days, that is 3 weeks and 5 days. And since the clerk of the National Assembly transmitted past budget details to the president, it's now 11 days, 1 week, and 4 days today. Those are the critical dates that we have on our hands, looking at when this document was initiated. And now, time is of the essence, many Nigerians will say. But let's look at the details as presented by the president. The president presented a total of 6.08 trillion proposal, and the National Assembly passed 6.06 trillion naira. Let's get the conversation started, shall we? We'll have joining me a member of the Lawyers in Defense of Democracy, Tochukwu Arazulike, a legal practitioner. He joins us from our Abuja studio. And thanks for coming on the program. And Ayo Oyalawa is the Deputy Director of the APC Presidential Campaign. He joins me in the studio. Many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you, sure.
For many Nigerians, what concerns them now is when will this budget be passed? How this budget is going to be passed? How soon the president is going to sign off on the budget, and most important thing is that how it will directly impact on their lives. But it seems a lot of things are slowing down in your party. A lot of people have attributed internal wranglings.
Well, thank you, Sean. People can attribute all they want, and it's perfectly normal to have such a attribution. But the president is the driver of the party's change mantra. In his wisdom, he has done what he thinks is right. For instance, this budget has $500 million for social intervention schemes, about 6 different schemes, from training graduates to giving money to the poorest of the poor, to training artisans, and so on and so forth. So that's a budget that has a human face. This same budget, for the first time since we started this democracy, we're having a budget that has 30% of capital project as part of it, about 1.5 billion.
1999.
Yeah, since we started this particular democracy, this dispensation, this the Fourth Republic. And for me, this was a watershed. And I would have expected that the National Assembly will key into the vision of the president and see how they can work together and ensure that Nigerians derive the benefit of what they have been asking for, change. Unfortunately, so many things have crept in. But my hope and aspiration is that everybody involved will see some reason and understand that no matter what interests are being served, the people are the beneficiary if it works, and they are the sufferers now that it is being delayed. Nigerians are the ones suffering on the long run.
The document that you've talked about, which carried the change mantra of the president, unfortunately was a budget that was badly prepared.
Well, the Minister for Budget and Planning has already explained what happened. Some people played some games with some things because of how it has been done. First and foremost, we need to understand. Let me explain this show. No, we need to understand this.
No, hold on. If people
they've been removed from their offices,
but is it the fault of the National Assembly
now? That is why you write the budget as a proposal. That is why you don't pass it by yourself. That's why you allow others to look into it. That is the job of the National Assembly, looking into it, and together they have seen it, and thankfully we understand that corrected versions were brought in, ministers were asked to defend their ministry's budget, and for me, that is the basis. That is why it is not an appropriation bill yet. It is a budget proposal. I mean, it was a proposal sent to the House.
It's still a bill.
It's not yet an appropriation bill because it's not been signed into an act yet. So if these things were done, you expect that the National Assembly will key into the vision of the executive.
That's one of the major problems a lot of Nigerians are looking into, the fact that it is a ruling, a National Assembly controlled by the APC, majority of the APC. It is the presidency led by the APC. One would think some of these issues will be politically resolved within the party. But the party itself is in crisis.
Well, I think you should understand that this is the first time in Africa, I mean in Nigeria, that we are transiting from one party to the other. So many people came into the APC with their own agenda and interest.
That's a major problem of the party right now.
It is a huge elephant that has passed through a river. It will have to shake itself so that the dust, the ants, and whatever will
at the detriment of Nigerians.
Well, unfortunately so. But I am hoping, because I can't say, human science cannot be absolute. I can't say today, I can't say tomorrow, but I can tell you one thing. Water will always find its level. Those people who came into the party with the hope to fix the life of Nigerians will find their level. And those who want to, who came in for personal aggrandizement, hopefully we will be able to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Interesting, because a lot of people have said the reason why APC got in government in the first place is because they wanted to remove the PDP, and it has achieved just that.
Well, I think it is beyond that. We have a PDP that was in power for 16 years. But on a very serious note,
what your party wanted at that time was change. And you've gotten it.
Like I told you, so many people, but I hope you remember that some people left PDP to come and join the APC too. I hope you know that. So it is not just the APC. I mean, the core, if you look at this big problem we are looking at, the core of the APC was CPC, ACN, and ANPP. Look at the people causing all the problems today. Just look at them. None of them are from those three legacy parties. While I'm not blaming anybody, I am saying the water will find its level.
Well, when the water finds its level, we're looking at the 2016 budget. With what we have on our hands, we're seeing that in the Ministry of Agriculture, there are some revelations that we understand are coming up now, and it looks so much that the president has about 4 weeks between which he needs to sign that budget, or else some natural costs will automatically. But with what we have on our hands, what do you think? And
what I would think is what I would
just a moment. Okay. How would is the party trying to resolve his internal wrangles to ensure that this budget is passed?
I understand that the Minister of Budget and Planning has made some. I mean, he wrote something recently. He made some statement, and the president was out of the country until the weekend. He just came in. My hope and expectation is that those involved will be called in, and people will not allow their personal interest to overshadow the national interest. One thing I can guarantee you is that the president has the national interest at heart. Others I cannot speak for, but that man, President Muhammadu Buhari, I can speak for him. I know clearly that the man has the interest of Nigerians at heart. Other people, I don't know, but I'm hoping that on the long run, everybody will see the reasons why we must all work together with this president to bring change to Nigeria.
Let's go to our Abuja studio, Mr. Tobechukwu Orazuluike of the Lawyers in Defense of Democracy. Many thanks for staying with us and joining us on the program. It concerns a lot of Nigerians. You and I are concerned about this issue of the budget, anticipation about when will it be passed. What are the solutions that you think ready on the table now that the executive and the legislature should be considering in making sure that that document is effectively signed and activated so that monies can be pumped into the Nigerian economy?
All right, Joe. My colleague there with you has actually stated the problems. He said he has listed the three legacy parties, APP, CPC, and ACN, and now said everybody causing the problem is from the PDP, those who joined from the PDP. He has stated the problems very clearly. And now if you recognize the fact that the National Assembly, both houses of the National Assembly are headed by people who have moved over from the PDP, it explains all this crisis, why there is no confidence between the executive and the legislature, and it's so unfortunate. That's why we can have all the dates you've reeled out, and nothing seems to be happening. And if we recognize that this is Nigeria, we live in the tropics, and the rains are about to start coming. We've even had delayed rains this year. In the next 2-3 weeks, we'll be in May, and however it is, the rains will start coming. And in this country, construction works, which is the capital projects, don't usually go on during the rainy seasons. We usually do those ones during the dry season. And when the rain sets in now, we'll be given another reason. If you remember, when this government was to come in, we were told they will hit the ground running. And when they came in, it was, when he appoints ministers. The ministers came, when the budget is passed. The budget is passed, when the budget is signed. When eventually the budget is signed, when the rains stop. We are shifting this goalpost, and prices are every day rising in the markets. Things are getting so wrong, and Nigerians are getting hungrier by the minute. If you look at the dates you have reeled out, 118 days since the budget was submitted, 3 weeks after it was submitted, it was passed by the National Assembly, we are still here. If there was harmony between the executive and the legislature, simply these issues would have been resolved. And that goes back to what we've been shouting, that the trial of the Senate President is politically motivated, because it is clear from what he's a Deputy Director General of a presidential campaign organization. So he understands what he's saying. He's an insider. He has information. It means the Senate President has to leave, the Speaker has to leave, then people from the legacy parties will now come and take over and do. If that is the solution to this problem, maybe they should just go it very quickly. But in the interest of Nigerians, it shouldn't keep us. It's in in about a month now, it will be 1 year. And we should be expecting this administration to celebrate 1 year. If you remember the controversy of 100 days in office, there was no target of 100 days in office. I just hope we will not get, there was no target of a 1 year in office, because as it is, I just believe that they should leave the political issues aside, drop their egos. Whether you trust somebody or you don't trust the person, accept the fact that the person is occupying a particular office, and you do what you're supposed to do. What is that? Let there be an engagement between the National Assembly and the executive. Look at the gray areas. All right, Mr. President, can you please sign this budget, bring a supplementary budget, and then we move on with that. And it would have solved a lot of problems.
All right.
Issues would have come in. Construction workers who have been laid off will at least get back to job and start working. A lot of issues are going wrong.
Okay.
By the time you start now and the rains come, you stop, and you have about 3 months later in the year to do capital projects. By December, you send money back to the treasury. That is not what Nigerians want. Prices are going up every day.
Just we'll take a moment, and when we return, we look into the gains of the president's trip to China, and of course, some other issues related to the budget. Join us again.